Just 4 days ago, the City 4 champions became the City of Champions. The Colorado Springs Switchbacks winning their first ever USL Championship Cup in the club's 10th season. And now joining us to talk about that magical moment is the sporting director for the Switchbacks, Stephen Hogan. And Hoagie, what does this moment mean for this team and this city?
Yeah, first and foremost, the team. You know, it's a fantastic achievement for what our locker room is, and right now we're just basically calling it a perfectly balanced locker room, full of culture, full of ideas, full of ambition, and I think that is shown on the field, especially on last Saturday morning when we won it. But throughout the season, since the start, obviously wasn't fantastic, but throughout the season, every week we started to see that develop, and obviously it finished with a win. For the community, I think it's the attendance over the last 4 years, me being here now since that stadium was open, has been fantastic. It's grown every year, and the noise and the piece of education that we've put in front of everyone now for this game and for the love of this game that we have was shown on Saturday morning.
You've been a big part of building this, not only the culture of this team, but the roster as well. Let's go back to last January when you decided to step away from being the team's head coach to the sporting director, which is basically like a general manager for those who are not familiar with soccer terms. Did you foresee this going as well as it did with James Chambers coming in as head coach and you going as sporting director?
Not in year one. You know, let's be honest. You want to get it to this spot maybe in year 2, year 3. Were we going to try and compete every year? Absolutely. That's ingrained in myself and in the staff for sure. But the idea and the awareness of what we saw as a collective was the most important thing. And my ambition to be a sporting director, general manager, as you say, has been there for years. Everyone has known that. But the idea of what I had behind me in the coaches and the staff and what we added to Chambo's staff, to James's staff, was evident that if they got it right, we'll be very hard to beat and we'll be very good to watch.
You go from being winless in the first 6 matches,
yeah,
right, to the number 2 seed, to hosting your first ever championship and winning it. What is the next step now? After winning the championship, having that high, is it sustained success? Is it building an academy? What's the next step for Colorado Springs Switchbacks?
Yeah, I think the idea over the next 4 years was home playoff games before we won it. You know, and I think we need to stick to that in certain situations. I think next season, though, why not? Why not do what we did? The continuity of roster will be there. There'll be addition players. It always is every year. So is the locker room going to be the same? It nearly is, yeah, I'd say 100%. That's a big decision, a big impact on how we're going to start and how we're going to finish the season. But the idea of winning it again is in everyone's minds already. But home playoff games every year. Has to be home playoff games and then try and win it again.
So you're saying that we're going to see a lot of the same faces, Christian Herrera, Matt Mahoney. This year, you're going to try to retain them?
Well, as much as possible. Like, you're not going to see everyone the same, and I can't name names right now, but you're going to see, let's say, 85 to 90% of the roster hopefully back. Obviously still in negotiations with that, like normal, but the idea is that Chambo and the staff wants the continuity, and I think it's 100% accurate. It's right. So we're excited to see everyone back.
And that's huge for trying to build a championship program, keeping that culture. Final question for you, Coach. I know you're from Ireland. You've been here for 20 years now. Thanksgiving is tomorrow. Favorite Thanksgiving dish?
You can't really go against the whole turkey cranberry. I like a bit of turkey and a cranberry. You know, and then after dinner, like as we call it, a Thanksgiving sandwich. Put everything on a bit of sandwich, but turkey and cranberry would be my pick.
Thank you, Coach, for joining us.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate you. And big part of building the culture of Colorado Springs' first ever professional championship, the sporting director, Stephen Hogan. Thank you, Coach, for joining us. That'll do it for sports. And remember, Colorado Springs, we are the champions. Send it back to you guys.